I'm sorry if the camera seems a bit strange. I was playing around with it and messed it up for today's video. Alright, so today we're gonna be talking about human factors. And to be more specific, we're gonna be talking about self-assessment, a part of the ADM process. Hi friends, my name is Jorge Muñoz. I'm a senior instructor pilot working in El Salvador. So glad to see you back, and this is the second video in this series about human factors. If you want to see what we talked about in the first video, I will leave the link of that video in the description down below. So if you have any doubt of what we're talking about in this video, you will probably find the answer of that over there. But today we're gonna continue talking about ADM, Aeronautical Decision Making, specifically about what self-assessment means. And we will be breaking down how to use the I.M.S.A.F.E checklist to determine your own physical and mental well-being for that specific flight. As always, this video is going to be divided in different sections, so here on the screen you will see the timestamps for each specific section. Also, you will find the timestamps linked in the video description and on a pinned comment down below. So if you're in a hurry or you just want to know about one specific thing about this video, please feel free to jump to the timestamp that you're interested in and go use your time in something more productive. But if you want to see the whole video, I appreciate it quite a lot. I always try to explain what I talk about in a simple way, so that everyone can comprehend it, even if you are not inside the aviation world at all. Or if you're just starting your private pilot training but you're interested in this topic, I still highly recommend you watch this video. Who knows, maybe you will get something out of it. In the previous video of this series, we started breaking down human factors, specifically the aeronautical decision making and this whole mental process with the decide checklist, to take an effective action against almost any situation during the flight. But there is yet a little bit more to say about the ADM. So now we will be breaking down what self-assessment is. During the last video we talked a lot about how you can evaluate every aspect of the flight in order to make it as safe as it can be. How you, as a pilot, can even determine how other people might be a resource for you, with the purpose of making an effective decision. In addition to that, every time you're going to fly, you have to determine if the airplane is airworthy. By now you have took control of all that, right? You have took control of every factor and every aspect of the flight, right? Well, there's actually one thing that is yet missing, that is yet to be evaluated, and that's yourself. Just as you evaluate every other aspect of the flight each time you're going to fly, you must evaluate your own well-being, your own fitness, your own health, as well as your levels of fatigue for that specific flight. Because these factors can be caused or altered by external factors of your life. That doesn't necessarily have to do with your pilot life. Some of them can have a big impact on your ability to fly properly. And this is without saying that you have to be aware of your own personal skills, experience and knowledge are good enough for that specific flight. What I mean by this is that, for example, you should know just by common sense that even if there is someone offering you to fly for them because they have this multi-engine airplane and they want just these ones to take them to a somewhat nearby airport, when you just have gotten your private pilot license with a single engine airplane, even though they are inviting you to do this, maybe they will even pay you for doing this, but you internally know that your knowledge and your skills are not good enough for that flight. Yet. They will be at some point, but not right now. You will be putting everyone's life on the airplane to the line, including yours. Yes, you have to be confident in yourself when acting like a pilot in command, but you have to know your own limitations. But putting this that I have just said to the side, once you are sure that in theory you are qualified to do this flight, You have to ask yourself if your fitness for that flight is also alright, and here is where the I'm safe checklist comes in. Similar to the decide checklist that we saw in the previous video, this one is also a series of steps or questions that you have to ask yourself in order to determine if you are mental and physically ready for that flight. So, the I'm safe checklist stands for illness, medication, stress, alcohol, fatigue, eating, and emotion. As you can see, the letter E stands for two words, eating and emotion. So let's start with the first question. Illness. Do I have any symptoms of any kind of sickness? That's what you should be asking to yourself. This is an all-time question, not just for today's world, with this virus laying around. But any sickness has the potential to make your proficiency as pilot decrease. Even something so simple as a cold will not allow you to operate at your maximum best as a pilot. So, if you're sick, it will be better for you not to fly that day. Second question. Medication. Have I been taking any kind of prescribed drugs or medications that might alter or change the way I normally behave, even in the slightest? That's the question for you. And for this particular question, I recommend that your doctor should know that you're a pilot. That way he can be even more aware of what he is prescribing to you. But just for you to have an idea, that should make your body work at a slower than normal rate, will definitely be something that will not allow you to perform at your absolute best. The third word in the checklist is stress. Am I under higher than normal pressure because of my job? Maybe my family is falling apart or someone in my family is very sick. Am I stressed out or over-worried because of my financial problems? Maybe the rent of my house or the tires of my car that I have yet to buy, or else my car will just not move anywhere. Or maybe are the worries of my own health what is causing me this shakiness in my hands. We all have problems of some sort. That's just how life is. Life will never be perfect for no one. And that's okay, we all deal with the problems in our own different ways. But taking those problems into the cockpit is where the danger begins. A pilot under these circumstances has to refuse to fly, for his own good and for the others. Explain what is happening in your life. Fix what you have to fix and then come back to the airport. A life of someone like a pilot has to be as relaxed as possible. Of course, that is easier said than done. I want to make clear that with this I don't mean that something like my phone stopped working because I dropped it. Therefore I'm stressed, therefore I cannot fly. No, okay? That is part of your everyday life. I'm talking about something that is really shaking your world and forces you to constantly be thinking about it all day. Question number 4. Alcohol. Have I been drinking during the last 8 hours? No? Maybe what about the last 24 hours? This question doesn't need to be explained that hard, I think. Alcohol makes us lose our senses. Our thoughts become slower and also our reaction time decrease. And even small doses that you may think you're totally fine with, you are not operating to your absolute best. Therefore, what if an emergency happens? Even if with the alcohol inside our bodies we'll still know what to do, those extra seconds that will take us to identify, think and respond might just be the difference between life and death for us. Number 5. Fatigue. Am I tired or not well rested? It's a no-brainer. Attention and effectiveness decreases as we are tired or sleepy. I'm sure that everyone has been tired after spending your whole night studying for an important exam or watching Netflix. This sensation of fatigue or tiredness is something that we all can relate to. At some point during our life we all have been fatigued or tired. It is fairly common, but it's not ideal for pilots to constantly spend our days exhausted. You know what? That's not ideal for anyone. That tiredness sensation will not allow you to go through your day as you should. You will just not be giving the best of yourself at anything you do. Go rest when your body and your mind needs it. Don't feel guilty for needing a little rest. Cut short some activities so you can recover yourself. Just don't oversleep. Rest what you must and continue with what you have to do. Question number 6. Eating. Am I well nourished, or am I just fat? Or maybe too skinny? Sometimes we skip meals because of the lack of time. Eating is absolutely necessary for doing any physical heavy activity, and also to fly. If you're hungry, you will lose focus. If you're feeling weak, you will be performing weak in the airplane. It can divide your concentration, and on extreme cases you can faint mid-flight. It's another no-brainer question. Eat what you need to eat in order to stay healthy. And to finish up, number 7. Emotion. The second question with the letter E. Have I recently experienced any really strong event in my life? Something emotionally upsetting, maybe. Maybe I broke up with my fiancé days before the wedding. A friend of mine just died. Someone robbed my house. Or my pet is missing for 1 week by now. All these are very strong events to talk about. But they can happen in our lives. They will happen at some point, even if that sounds terrible. But emotion plays a really important part in our lives. If your emotions are not in line, your mind will constantly be getting lost in thought during the flight. So, once again, wait. Wait the time you need in order to get your emotions in line. So, wrapping up, self-assessment is the own evaluation that we make to ourselves to make sure that we are capable to properly perform that flight. That means theoretically, skill-wise and experience-wise, and of course physical and mental-wise. And if you notice that something is not quite alright during the I'm safe checklist, stop yourself and fix what you have to fix before go flying. But if you are not sick, you don't need of any medication, you are not over stressed out, you have not been drinking alcohol during the last couple of days, you are not overly fatigued, you are eating okay and you are emotionally stable, then congratulations, we can all go flying happily together. So that's the end of today's video. If you want to become an outstanding private pilot and you want to begin your career with a heads up over the others, or even if you are an advanced pilot that want to remember and perfect the knowledge and the basis of the VFR world, I highly recommend you check out my book Essential Knowledge for Private Pilot. You will find the link of the book in the video description down below. This book uses the 2 most effective study techniques in the whole world, active recall and spaced repetition, and it applies them into aviation. If that sounds good to you, then please go check out the book in the description down below. It's available in English as well as in Spanish. Remember, you shouldn't be studying hard, you should be studying effectively. And with this book you can do just that. And that's it, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video or at least found it somewhat entertaining, please give it a like. If you learned something new, I will appreciate quite a lot if you subscribe to the channel. And if you just feel like it, you can also follow me in Instagram. The link is also in the description. I upload very cool photos over there. Or at least they seem cool in my head. I try to upload videos every week, mainly explaining different topics about the IFR world, but in a logical order. Also, I will probably be talking about aviation and education in general, but always trying to contribute something new to you. If you have a question or an opinion about something that I said during this video, or you want to ask me about something in particular, please feel free to comment down below, or you can get in touch with me in Instagram. I will love to hear what you have to say. If you found this video interesting, then you should check out the first video of this series. I will leave the video somewhere here in the screen, where we talked about CRM, SRM and its 6 components, and where we break down the ADM process along with the Decide checklist. Once again, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye!